evening, everybody. Yeah, my name is Anna Hagan, and welcome to the Inside View. I don't know about you, but I've had a wonderful day, and I hope everyone out there has equally actually have a good day as well. Today we're going to talk about sensitive issues that we hardly talk about in our community, especially when it comes to gender-based violence against women. And tonight, I am so blessed to have with me a lady who has really championed this cause for over 20 years. And I don't want to, you know, just miss out some of the information that I have here. So I think I would have to just read who she is and also what she's been able to accomplish for over 20 years. I have with me a lady who is a development practitioner with 23 years experience in gender and human rights activism in development work, with a solid background and track record in gender responsive program. Excuse me. Sorry. She has a deepened interest in the right and also to fight for social justice with focus on community development and empowerment of marginalized populations such as women, children, the disabled, and other marginalized groups. And also, this has also contributed significantly in changing the narrative on gender discrimination and violence against the excluded groups. Her advocacy work has earned her several awards. She's a mother, an executive director, and holds master's degree in local economic development. And she's no other person than Lamnatu Adam. Hajia, welcome to the Inside View.
Hello, Nana. I hope you are doing well. And thank you for the opportunity. Sorry.
Yeah, I do apologize. I don't know. I was well. Also, I just came live, but I'm so sorry for the cough spell.
That's okay.
Yeah. Hajia, I have read what you do, what you've accomplished. But I think we just want to know, in your own words, who Hajialamnatu Adam is. Aside your achievements and everything, who are you?
Okay. So my name is Lamnatu Adam. Like you said, I'm a mother. I am an executive. I work for an organization called Songtaba as the executive director. I grew up with my paternal auntie. May she rest in peace. And I attended Our Lady of Fatima Junior High School, primary, Nyashegu Primary, now known as Ola. Then Our Lady of Fatima Junior High School. And then I went to Northern School of Business. I finished Northern School of Business in 1996, and I went to Tamale Training College, now Tamale College of Education. When I finished in 2000, I married in year 2001. I taught for 3 years, and I went to the university in year 2003, where I pursued my first degree. I finished in year 2007. I taught for an additional 3 years, and then I moved into the NGO work. But before then, I had been a Red Crosser, where I have been a peer educator, I have been a trainer, I have been a Mothers Club facilitator, I've been a district guinea worm supervisor, I have taught as an English tutor. Um, I've been the guidance and counseling person at the school, and I worked directly with the girls when I was teaching. So this is me. When I was doing my Guinea worm work, I supervised over 100 endemic Guinea worm endemic communities at then. And I remember we're doing a whole lot of dam abating, um, where we're abating the dams to make sure that the cyclops were dead. We taught communities how to do proper treatment for safe water, and we did a whole lot of community engagement. Let me say that I started my community work at a very early age, at adolescence when I was a peer educator. Those days when it was the time where HIV/AIDS was a more bigger issue, and we're doing a whole sensitization around sexual and reproductive health right, especially also about how to wear proper condom and how to, safeguard oneself on how not to get protected and how to avoid being getting the HIV virus transmission. So that was how I actually started my work.
Great. So it looks like you've been always around women, young girls. So your passion is just working with young girls to see young girls do well. I just want to find out, why are women always fighting for their rights, fighting to be heard, fighting to be seen? What at all have we done? Because it looks like all the advocacy, all the jobs that are being promoted are just done, to empower, young girls, to make sure young girls are well placed in life. Why are women always at the mercy of wanting to be seen and also heard? Because this is a pure human right. So why do you think it's such a problem?
Well, the advocacy we are doing is from a right-based perspective. And if you look at our setting and our orientation, it has pushed a lot of girls and women backward. I mean, you grew up from a culture that says that you need to be submissive, your voice should not be heard, you 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 should be dependent on a man for a support. You are taught at a very early age that these are the things that as a girl you need to learn to do. And if you look at studies over the years has shown that because of this orientation, a lot of girls' confidence have not been properly built to be able to even talk about issues that affects them. And as the girls, they continue to have very little voice. And as they grow into young women and to women, they are even unable to negotiate properly when it even comes to issues about their body. And so, because of this orientation from childhood, which we have seen that it has resulted in a lot of girls not being able to speak about issues that affects them, which culminates even in their adulthood, and when they become women, it even gets worse, especially when you are married and you are supposed to be. I'm not saying that when you are married you are not supposed to be submissive, but because of that orientation, it makes women to accept everything that comes to them, and they take it as a faith. And that is why in this new orientation, we are looking at, if girls and boys are born equally, then why must girls be told to shut up? Why must girls be the ones to do the house chores? Why must girls be those who shouldn't take up leadership position? Why shouldn't it be that leadership position, for example, should be open for both boys and girls? That is why in the recent campaign, you see that we say there shouldn't be girls preferred or boys preferred. It should just be school preferred. and both boys and girls can apply, you know. And so we are beginning to see that this orientation that we had earlier has a whole lot of effect on girls and women in all diversity. I mean, looking at either social or cultural, looking at issues around leadership, looking at issues around economic emancipation. And because of this orientation, a lot of girls are not able to properly even negotiate safer sex, which makes them get pregnant and they fall out. They are not able to continue school. And once you are not able to continue school, you are unable to, stay and finish school. It further limits your ability to even be economically empowered. It limits your ability to be confident enough to be able to put up yourself. So because of that, we are thinking that we need to do a whole lot of empowerment sessions, training, supporting girls, doing mentorship, so that girls can come out of their shell. Believe me, when you are in a mentorship program and you see that there are a lot of girls who are, in that mentorship, they get interested in the sharing that you give. And because of that, they say, look, I've learned so much from you. So it is not out of anything that you see that a lot of empowerment are going to girls, they are going to women. It is because of the cultural certain one, also because of other systemic issues, that affects women. I've talked about our culture, for example, and I've also talked about the other aspect of misguided religious interpretation, which lack, what should I say, situational analysis, that makes women continue to see themselves, to be subordinate, to men. And I've talked about the culture, our patriarchal culture, our male dominance issue, all begins to affect women and girls. And that is why we have a lot of empowerment programs that we put aside to support women and girls so that they are able to be part in decision-making processes, and they are also be able to engage in other economic ventures, skills building, and the like.
Great. Anyone just joining? Tonight, we're just putting light on, change makers in the northern part of Ghana, and Hajialamnatu Adam is one of them. She's changing the narrative boldly, and I'm so proud to have her tonight in the UK. To put a big spotlight on her, and I'm so proud of what she's doing, empowering and also emboldening our young girls to believe in themselves. So Hajia, tonight we are so pleased to have you in the UK, and we celebrate you, and we say thank you for all that you're doing. So if you are online, please share this link, share this interview, and let it go far. And all that we are doing tonight is just put us spotlight on all the heroes and also the heroines in the northern part of Ghana. So let's make Ghana proud tonight by sharing this interview. Let the whole world know what Lamnatu Adam is doing with her foundation in Ghana. Please let this interview go far. Let us, show her some love. So please share this interview. I don't know, but you might save a young girl out there, maybe through this discussion. And I know by the time this interview, actually, finishes, we would actually get a lot of education from her tonight. So Hajia, you're an environment where, the cultural values does not necessarily, permit women. I wouldn't say permit. I don't know. I wish I have the right word to use because I don't want to step on toes. Restrict women to be themselves, to find their voice. So for you, how did you begin your activity on this issue? Because I know Somtaba was formed in 2005. And at that time, social media wasn't as, big as this. So, how did you begin your activity on this issue? Yeah, how did you do it?
Well, I told you that I started my activism work right at the basic school,
Yeah,
where we started a peer education program. And growing up, I've also seen a lot of issues that are affecting girls. Some due to early betrothals. You have girls who have been given to their aunties for grooming, and sometimes they are denied education. Luckily for me, I had a very lovely auntie who put me in school. But there were a whole lot of
yeah,
other colleagues of mine who could not go to school, you know. And a whole lot of them were issues around, well, where at all would the girl's education send her? She's probably just going to end up in the kitchen, you know. So, and at that time also, we're not very exposed to other social media, and we could even learn things on our own that much. Today, my daughter perhaps can just sit in the room and learn anything she wants because
yeah.
there's internet, you know. So at that time, it was just about your observation about what's happening to women, how women are being abused because of very flimsy issues. I mean, very little issues. Sometimes even as little as even getting diapers for their babies. Sometimes women get it, and you see that it is because most of it is also because women do not have economic power, you know, and because they lack economic power, you know, they tend to stay in marriage and go through all forms of abuse, you know. So all of those observation and looking at what girls can do and what you want to do in future were the things that, you know, made me, you know, really go into this work that I'm doing. And I can see that I have the passion for it and the commitment, because when you really do the things that you love doing, you see the impact you are making. You know, today a lot of girls are out of child marriages and they are back in school, all because of the work that we are doing. A lot of women who have been accused of witchcraft have had justice. You know, a lot of women who have had several other abuse have been supported otherwise because of the little work that we are doing and the broader advocacy and joint actions that we are doing again with our partners. So these are the things that motivates us to do the work that we do. One, the circumstances that we see in ourselves within our situation, the situation of girls and how pathetic, you know, an abusive relationship they have had, especially women who lack economic power, who lack family support, go through. And all of that, there's just one way, you know, for women to leave that, and that is getting girls educated. Once they are educated and they know what their rights are, and they are able to stay in complete education school, and they are able to get a skill, get a job, then I'm sure they will have a say in their homes, within their families. But if a girl is there and she doesn't have all of this, then she's just in the mercy of a man.
Great. So, who was your role model actually growing up? And what role did that person play in your life for you to be, triggered, to have this kind of boldness to say, do you know what? I'm going to stand up for women. I mean, who is that person? I mean, who actually gave you all this kind of zeal to be able to do, what you're doing today?
Nana, I will tell you, when I was doing my Red Cross peer education program, there was a time we came in contact with, you know, Action Aid was supporting us in the peer education program that we're doing. And there was this lady called Dede. She's a Sadna. She was in the Tamale office, a very beautiful lady who, anytime I go to the office and I see her seated at her desk, I always see myself sitting in the desk. And the way she loved and supported me, she used to talk to me a lot, you know. And I always tell myself that, look, I want to just to be like Didi. I want to sit in the office. I want to be that big woman there. I'm sure she was not the manager, but she was like a program officer or so, because she related more to us. But I saw that in her, first. And then also, at the time, my Red Cross regional director, Mr. S.S. Mahama, also motivated me a lot. So those two people really motivated me to be who I am. Anytime I sit down, I still reflect seeing the sitting under that desk. And I tell myself that I want to be in that desk someday to come. And that has kept me pushing. That has kept me pushing. That look, you can be here and perhaps more if you truly try.
Wow.
So I say thank you to Dede, for the support she gave me throughout.
Great. So every woman or every young girl out there needs a Didi that they can actually look up to. I guess we all need role models, and especially the up and coming, girls, because we don't tend to have a lot of positive role models in our community. So wherever you are today, I think Hajialamnatu is grateful for the role that you played in her life. Yeah.
And Nana, today I get a lot of young people come to me and they say, look, I admire you so much. I want to be like you. I admire you so much. I like the way you do this. I sit at far and I read about you. I see the work you're doing, and I'm so grateful. I want to be like. I have people writing to me. I have girls interacting with me and say, look, I want to be like you. And I've always said that if we have several of other Dede who motivated people like us and the impact we are making, thousands of girls wants to be like me. If there were thousands of myself, then we can have 10,000s of girls who will become just like me, and perhaps 100,000 girls who will look up to them. And so it is important that we actually support a whole network of women or girls through some kind of a mentorship, some kind of a coaching. And look, sometimes not even through a deliberate effort, you're just doing your work and people get admired with that. That is why these and many more are the reasons why we want women to be empowered so that other girls can look up to them and want to be more than them.
Great. So, Hajia, in creating and also advancing the rights of young girls and also women, what are some of the challenges that you've actually faced, and how have you managed to circumvent or overcome them?
Well, it hasn't been that easy. One, the work that you do usually takes you away from home, and many a time your family suffers. So you have to find a way to be around them when you are actually at home, so that they don't feel you're absent. Two, if you look at the work that we do, especially works that challenges the very core of your culture, you know, it has a repercussion on you as a person, and sometimes it goes to your family. I remember that sometime in this advocacy work, we're doing a radio program where we're looking at reintegration of women who have been accused of witchcraft and are staying at the camp. And we're asking communities to take them back. We're asking communities to respect the human rights of these women. And you have call in who says that, look, if you want, take the women back, we'll kill you. You have sometimes you have threats coming to you. And I also remember that there was this forced marriage thing we're going to rescue, and we're almost at the community around midnight, and we had a whole bunch of people following us to be sure that we do not rescue such a girl. So it comes with some kind of backlash. I mean, some kind of challenge with people seeing you behaving otherwise. And I remember when we're looking at issues around exchange marriages, forced and early child marriages, and we went to a committee, and the guys asked, if you don't want us to marry the girls, how do we get women to marry in our communities? Because this is our culture. You cannot marry from my family, and I cannot get from your family. But you can also tell me to wait until the girl finishes school, and then some very well educated man takes the girl away. So they see you as somebody who is trying to challenge the status quo, what they are used to, you know. And but nonetheless, you you come in from your right based perspective and you come in well. It's all about how you're doing your community engagement and how you are also working with some allies within the work that you do. In as much as we are biased about girls and women, we are also very passionate about engaging men and groups of boys, because we understand that if they do not change their attitude and the way that they behave with us as women or as girls, we might not be able to succeed. So one of the strategies that we do at Somtaba is that we do a lot of male engagement, because you cannot want to work in a transformative way and ignore engaging men and boys. And so men and boys engagement is a strategy that we use in the work that we do. But we also try to empower the girls and their networks, the women and their groups, in ways that can let them be impactful within themselves. So there are challenges with family, there are challenges with communities, but we always find a way to navigate. Also because of the way we do entry and the number of people we appreciate, where they are coming from and how we want to work with them through changing some of this. And that is how we have worked to make sure that some communities have become child marriage free communities. And that is how we have also worked to make sure that the very same woman who was accused of witchcraft have been reintegrated, in the community because of the way we do our entry, the way we do our engagement. We are not harsh. We just want to see that, look, even though you believe this, but your belief should not deny somebody else right. And that is how we go through the work.
Great. I'm so glad you mentioned that you also engage with men, because it looks like um, this is, like an area that is so deep rooted in their traditional, beliefs, and also thinks that a girl as young as 9 or 10, could be given in hand in marriage, which is so wrong. I mean, I beg your pardon, but I'm so glad that you said that. Okay, you have a way of bringing, men into your centers, just to. But what can be done to shape or reform the mindsets of these men? Because I'm thinking a girl as young as 9 years, 8 years, it's not even physically matured, or I mean, it's not physically well developed, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. I mean, in any shape or form. How do you, transform the mindsets of these young and these men, to see these girls as, normal girls actually growing up, instead of just, taking them, in hand as marriage materials, or, like as brides. I mean, what can be done? Because I don't know. It really saddens my heart. What can be done?
Well, marry a child at that age, you are robbing the child of their childhood. This is a child who still needs to go and play with her peers. And you cannot be married and go and playing with your peers, So usually, I think that we take them through a whole model. I mean, where we look at the health of such a child, who is not physically fit, who is not physically also matured even
Yeah.
to be able to go through, um, for example, even sex, and even to be able to go through the hurdles and stress of marriage. And then also, we look at the rights perspective. We see that, look, if you look at the rights from the rights perspective, we said that for everything you want to do for a child, you must first act in the best interest of the child, you
Sure.
know. And so marriage is certainly not in the best interest of the child. So we look at the physical uh, um, the child's physically, whether the child is able, as at now, the breast probably is just started to protrude.
Yeah.
She's not able to carry pregnancy, and so we look at all the hazards, the health impact that a girl such at that age will go through, and we have data to back it. If you look at the neonatal, the maternal mortality rates, they are all, data that we take to back it, because when people look at data, it also affects their conscience. And then we also have testimonies. We have testimonies, and then we share those testimonies with them. And then we also find a way to put the information we want in a kind of drama, in other physical things that people can see and relate with. So we look at that, and then as one, and then we also look at the aspect of the person's health, and then also look at the current situation. Now, if a girl is not educated, how does the girl how is the girl able to then take care of the child and then the parent? So a child who gives birth to a child, who takes care of both children, because she's still a child and she's
Yeah.
in marriage, then she gives birth to another child. So it becomes even a double jeopardy on you, the parent. So that is how we take people through to conscientize them. So we do evidence-based advocacy, where we look at what are the numbers that are supporting the work that we do. If you look at, for example, the maternal death, it mostly happens to children or people who are within that age. Would you want your children to be in that situation? Look at your situation as a community. Wouldn't you want to have girls who grow up to be teachers and come to teach in your school? Wouldn't you want to have girls from within your community who work in your chief's compound, who work in your health facility? Wouldn't you have to have a girl like me who want to come to your community to change your mindset? And when you start engaging communities like this, then you see that that is the point of realization. But we don't also just work just by ourselves. We also try to work within some change makers in the community. So, for example, you have us have the child protection committees in the communities. You have us have the community-based anti-violence team, who are all community members that we have, chosen to work with, so that it is not just us. We are also building the capacity of community, leaders, community volunteers to support in the advocacy work that we do. So these are the ways that we do the work. We make people to realize that, look, situations have changed, times have changed. Those days, you were not paying school fees. You did not even bother paying so much in a child in kindergarten. Now, if you have children at the elementary school, it's even more paying than children at the university, especially if you want your children to have the best of education and you want to put them in the primary school. So these are the way we look at the situation. We make the analysis looking at the current happenings within our communities. And that is how we start the discussions rolling. And then we work with them through making commitments. We make follow up to make sure that there are community watchdogs, who will make sure that anytime there's such a situation, they can easily fall in. Because the community-based anti-violence teams, the child protection teams are all volunteers that we've picked from the community. And we've given them paralegal training. And then they're able to relate even with the SHRAD, with social welfare, DOFSU. So if there's any thing they see like that, then they're also able to quickly relate to some of these district level child protection departments so that they're able to come in.
Wonderful. Hajia, you are doing such an amazing job. Guys, anyone just tuning, Hajia is a change maker. And just like I said, earlier on, I am just putting the spotlight on all the heroes and also the heroines in the northern part of Ghana. And Hajialamnatu Adam is one of them. I have my own, Hajia, Salima too, also, one of them. And, she's also making, head waves out there. But tonight, the spotlight is on Hajia Adam, Lamatu. And Hajia is super. I mean, we've all seen and heard what she's doing in the northern part of Ghana. And I think tonight we are in Tamale to proceed, to be precise. Haji, isn't it? You are in Tamale,
Yes,
aren't you?
please. Yes.
Wonderful. So, with all that you've said and also done so far, I mean, how can we properly integrate our young girls in discussions, um, you know, um, related to the development of our community? Like in order to promote, cohesiveness, co- his sorry, to promote, coexistence and also co sorry cohesiveness. Sorry, if I'm not able to pronounce it, guys, please pardon me. And also well developed, Ghana. I mean, how can we engage, our girls in order to, promote diversity, um, in our community? How can we engage our girls to do that? Because it looks like most girls, first of all, do not even know who they are. Their identity is in question, their self-esteem, their confidence, everything. How can we project or raise our girls to know who they are, understand their identity, know their purpose, how they can accept this, themselves, and then we can engage them, strategically to be involved in discussions that really promote, the development of where they are.
I think that we have always thought that children or girls, for that matter, do not know. And so there's no need to engage them or involve them. And that is where we get it wrong. You see that in a family, if there's going to be a decision making, they ask perhaps the boys.
Yeah.
The man will call the boys in the family to talk to them. I want us to do this. I want this to be done. Because they always feel that for the girls, she just takes instruction from the mother. So you see that there's a whole lot of discussion. Sometimes, even if the girl is the eldest and there's a boy who is next, they prefer to talk to the eldest son, the son than the sister. You see that there's even a problem, and they are going into a family meeting, and they say, "Hey, call your brother," and they don't call you. Why? Because they feel that the, that as for a woman, she has, or as for a girl, her brain is little. And I usually get so peeved with such a statement that girls' brain or girls' knowledge or their thinking is little. And that is where we get it wrong. Because once she start growing up and she sees that she's not part in the decision making, even within her own family, she goes into the marriage and she's still not being part of the decision making. So we must first of all look at the family system and ensure that we involve girls and both boys in the house chores, in making decision. For example, if I am buying, say, toothbrush for my children, I ask all of them, which colors do you want? This one say I want red, this one say I want blue. That is how you start bringing them into the decision making space for them to decide the things that they want. So what we can do is to look at first the family system, because the family is a first agent of change before the school. And so at the family level, what efforts are we making that girls are part of decision making? Who makes a decision that boys should not sweep? Girls should be those sweeping. Girls should be those washing. Boys can just go and play football and come and sit and go and bath. And girls will have to now come and cook and come and wash. So at the family level, once you bring everybody and say, look, there's this chores, there's sweeping, there's mopping, there's cooking, there's fetching water, and you are just four of you, two boys, two girls, everybody, which one can you do? Once you begin bringing all of them, both children, whether boys and girls, all of them in the decision making spaces. That is the one step in which you can build the girls' capacity right from the home to be able to say the things that they feel they are comfortable to do. Then you come to the school level. In the school level, teachers are the guardians of the children. They must make sure that girls in class are not intimidated. Girls in class equally should air out how they feel in class, how they feel when the teacher is teaching. That is why, as part of our programming, we work with girls' clubs and we work with girls' club and their networks. And in the clubs, we teach them things like themselves, yourself, your body. We teach them things about self-esteem. We teach them things about assertiveness, how to be assertive and not being aggressive. How to resist something, how to say something, and not hurt the other, how to report, how to demand for your right, and how they need to exercise their leadership skills in school. And so the second place is the school. One, schools must make sure that they put a lot of safeguarding, principles within the school so that both boys and girls recognize that they are all partners in class. Because remember, they're already coming from home, and in the home they are being orientated that look, the boy is superior than the girl. But in school, we must begin to correct these negative thoughts that are coming from home. So the school is the next agent of change, and that is where change can happen through the girls club, through teachers, because teachers are their role model. Teachers, they look up to them. That is why it is worrying when you have abusive teachers, because then the girls do not know what to do. Because when you are abused at home, the only place you can find solace perhaps is when you come to school. And we cannot have violations of girls' rights happening in school again. So schools must begin to put in protective measures that can protect girls. They must begin to run programs that encourages girls to also compete. So you have in the girls club activities that we do. We have reading competitions, we have debates, we have girls, doing engagement with district assemblies about things around their schools. And then you look at the community level. How is the community setting? How does it affect girls? Is it a community that do not allow women's participation, and for that matter, girls? You see that in a community chief palace, for example, this is where you enter, and every place is very male dominated. You don't even have women sitting in the palace. They only come there to listen to verdict. They only come there, perhaps if there's a visitor or there's an announcement, they get to listen. How do we begin to change this? Now we have the young people's chief. We call them Nachin Nanama. Isn't it about time that we have Pasat Nanama? I mean, isn't it about time that we have young ladies chief who are also accomplishing the things that the young men chiefs are doing? So these are the things that we are beginning to see change in. So you see that even though we have magagiers, the magagiers are people like community chiefs. How do we make sure that those community chiefs, or like the magagia leaders, like the community women leaders, how do we make sure that they are not just leaders for women, but they are also leaders within the communities? So these are things that communities must begin to put in place and make sure that girls and women are in a safe relation, they are in a safe environment. They can have time to talk to themselves. So, as one of the strategies where we bring women together to have safe, spot or safe corners for themselves is through the Village Savings and Loans Association, where we bring women together to discuss issues about themselves. It's a way, actually, a way of mobilizing women to themselves to discuss issues about themselves and also start doing some saving. So communities must have those safe corners where girls are free to come together to do the things that they want to do. And they must put in structures also to make sure that girls who feel uncomfortable or are abused in a way are able to report. Before we then look at the national level, what are some of the policies that we can use to support girls? You know, how do the policies support girls? The policies that we make. For example, we have the child marriage framework. This is something that helps us to look at issues affecting girls. We have gender policies. How does it translate at the local level? How does it support the girls, or how does it otherwise affect the girls? So girls participation and the way they're able to navigate start from within the family to the school and then to the outer community, level, where the very things that we need to do is to make sure that we work around their protection.
Great, Hajia. There's something that really, bothers me. When a woman is not married, she's not, classified as a complete, human being, especially when she's of age. How can we educate our women to feel complete in themselves and not be judged or be measured by the fact that, oh, okay, you know, I need to be complete in a sense of marriage. I mean, where women see completion in marriage. How can we now educate our young girls so that they don't feel pressured to get into marriage, where they can educate themselves further into other fields of education. What can, since you are an advocate, what can we do to make women feel complete in themselves, not necessarily being complete in marriage? Even though marriage is good, I am married and I know you are married as well. How can we do that?
Unfortunately, you hear comments like, if you are not married, then you are not responsible, especially when you try to even look for a position, a political position. That's where they even begin to question your marriage status and whether you are responsible for such a position. And again, what is worrying is that a man who is not married is not questioned in the very same way that a woman who is not married is being questioned. We live in a society that places so much emphasis on marriage, such that because people want to stay in marriage, they get abused. And that is my worry. Marriage is beautiful. I am married. I have my children. I have a very wonderful family. But I will not encourage anybody to be forced into marriage, to continuously to be in marriage when she's not happy, to continuously to be in marriage where she's continuously being abused. No, no, no. You look at what are the factors that makes communities pressurize women to marry. One, religiously, we are told that a girl who is not married and she say engages in any sexual relationship, all the sins, you know, all the sins come to the family. Well, for me, I think that sometimes, because they want to frighten girls and they want them not to be promiscuous, some of these things come up. Um, that is one. Two, when you are not married and you are of some age, you are being pressurized because they feel that if you don't get married, then you are probably a liability, or you are becoming a disgrace to the family. So you have your maternal and paternal, all aunties and everybody on you. When are you bringing a man at home? When are you getting a husband? Why are you still not being married? Sometimes somebody has a passion for something. Maybe the person wants to have a first degree before she gets married. And you're like, you can hurry up and bring marriage. And some of this marriage comes with a whole lot of responsibilities, such that you may not be able to continue. We have had girls who are able to continue in marriage, continue after marriage, and we applaud them. But there are a whole lot of others, when they go into marriage, it comes with a whole lot of complication, another family responsibility, that they just abandon the school. And so one of the things we can do is to look at vis-a-vis, where is the person? Is the person learning a skill? Is the person, having education that she needs to finish? Then parents must begin to understand. And for even if the girl says, I want to marry, parents must come to an understanding with the man. Look, this is our daughter who we have, sent to school. The person needs to complete. But if you think you want to marry her, then please let have a bond. Sign a bond that she will complete school. You know, I have one of my younger husbands whose daughter was in school, and wanted to marry. She said, no, when you graduate and get work. But we said, look, when she graduates, at least, and she wants, and the man can support, why not? Because we are looking at the impact of girls or women who are not working and the way they suffer in marriages. You can have a man who says that, look, do not work, I'll do everything for you. How about if can you guarantee the man's status tomorrow? How about you have three children, and everything is about the man? If the man loses the job tomorrow, what happens? If the man passes and you have never really worked, you are not doing anything, what are you going to do with all the children you have? So these are some of the things that we encourage girls to look for. And we tell parents that, look, let your child, or let your girl stay in school and complete. However, Nana, there's also another trend which is quite worrying, that a lot of our girls looks like they are not very interested in education.
Yeah.
They are in a hurry. They are in a hurry to own things. They are in a hurry to leave their families. Because the boy has an AC, the boy probably has a motorbike, the boy probably has some kind of something. She thinks that it's enough for them to live on it, and he's in a hurry to marry. And these are some of the things, when you talk as advocate, then they say that you are those who are not encouraging girls to get married. Why wouldn't I encourage girls? Once she's an adult, she's finished school, she has something to do, and she can get some income of her own. Why not? Because I'm very positive that even men do not want to marry girls who don't do anything again, because they may want to marry you now, but hey, my sister, when you have first child, second child, and you are not bringing your part of the deal, then that is where you start having problem. Especially for those of us who are Muslims, and a man can just see another very hardworking woman and marry in addition to you. And that is where the competition starts. And you are like, and nobody minds me. And you are like, I don't have a say. How will you have a say? Because you're not bringing anything to the table. And in this situation, you need both husband and wife to contribute to a very beautiful home, in the home that you want. So we have always talked with our ladies. That is why we encourage what we call intergenerational dialogues, where we have people who have who are quite experienced talking with the young girls, so that they are again able to see that there's the need for them to wait. There's the need for them to have a skill. There's the need for them to be empowered. There's the need for them to have an income before they go into marriage. If you do not have all of that, you may be lucky that this is a man who does everything for you. But can the man truly do everything for you? How about your siblings? How about your aging parent? How about their drugs? How about their health? Would the man still do everything for you? These are the things we ask the girls. Look, the man says, I'll do everything for you. You. But don't you have any obligation to your parents who have sent you to school, who have groomed you? Don't you have any obligations to them as they are aging? Would you want to also contribute in their upkeep? How about your siblings who will be looking up to you? Will the man do everything for you? So you begin conscientizing them like this and telling them about your life stories. I married when I finished college. I started teaching and I married. I was still in marriage and I went to the university. I had my first child at the university. So, but even at the first degree, it didn't stop me, still in marriage. I went and pursued my second degree. And so when you are talking to the girls and you share with them, you have a group of women who are sharing with them that, look, for those of you who have already entered in marriage, it is not the end of it. You need to still continue. That is why it is important for parents to help choose the spouse. Because look, it is not alone. It is not okay for the girl alone. You must be supportive in who your girl chooses. If he goes to choose somebody who doesn't support further education for the girls, you have very little to do anything about it. So we tell girls, know who you choose. Choose your spouse well. From where you choose your spouse, you can both grow together. Because there are some men, believe me, who think that I should not have a second degree and my wife also have a second degree, or my wife should get a PhD. But there are other men who will encourage their wives, to get PhD. And let me say that I'm quite happy about some new development I'm seeing. I've seen that there are few even Muslim scholars who have made sure that their girls have gone through university. Their girls have graduated before they married them. And then even Muslim scholars who have married girls and have ensured that the girls continue school. And these are examples that we want to share to girls that, look, it is important to marry. It is good. Marriage is good. You have a husband who supports, but it is important to have something doing, to have an income you can call your own before you can go into marriage. So all of that has to do with the spaces that we create for girls to engage with girls. Because everything also starts from the girl. Once she's determined and says that, look, yes, I love you, we love each other, but until I finish. If you can wait, fine. If you cannot. So we need to start empowering the girl. Create spaces where we can talk with them. Believe me, there are girls who have never really have anybody to speak to. And so if you don't have anybody to speak to, what happens? And some of the situations, as I mentioned, um, some of them also pushes girls to marry. For example, you have a community which have just basic school. And for you to even get the junior high school to attend, it has to be in another bigger community, in a district capital. Now, what happens if the family cannot afford to buy a bicycle to such a girl to train? To be sending to be sending to school. Or what happens if a parent cannot support the child beyond the basic school? You see that the girl does not have any further ambition. And this is not the girl's fault, this is not the parents' fault, but it is the fault of our institution. We've not been able
Wonderful.
to get the facilities closer to the girl. And these are some of the reasons. Or any economic empowerment programs that can support girls wherever they are.
Wonderful. Hajia, um, you and I know that social media has come to stay. And, as you rightly said, that, majority of our girls are in a rush, to leave home and also to get married, even when it's not yet, time for them to do so. And also not to be judged by society. So how can we educate our girls to use social media positively? Because it looks like most of them, once they get, small data, they just go there, get on Facebook, YouTube,
And they are like,
just yes, the Instagram, the Snapchats, and TikTok. But meanwhile, you can, actually like equally use the same social media for other positive things. How can we help, our girls to fully use their
utilize.
mental capacity,
Yeah.
positively, not in that negative way? I mean, how can we do it? Because, whether we like it or not, social media has come to stay.
Sure, sure. I think that a number of times when I go into social media, I get sad. I mean, it's okay to slay, it's okay to show your beauty, but must you use majority of your time? For example, if you are a student, you use 2 hours and you are on social media, you are not learning anything productive. All you are doing is Snapchat or the things that they do to make them appear in different ways. And these are the things that you see most of our girls doing. You have girls who or ladies who are say selling things and they're not interested in promoting the things that they sell. They go to gossip sessions, they go to comedy, they go to, just post things that are not productive. There's nothing wrong in showing your beauty, who you are, and showing yourself, but you must do it productively. You can use 1 minute to do that and use the rest of the minute to also look for something, learn. There are a whole lot of things we can learn on social media. But I think that our girls still need further engagement on how we can utilize social media very well. Today, you can learn a lot of things through the social media. You can learn a whole lot of leadership qualities, leadership skills, how to be assertive. Everything you want to learn, you can learn it on the internet. So we need to cultivate that desire to use the social media to learn, to contribute to discussions. I mean, there's an issue about rights, issues about abuses, issues about anything that needs people to contribute. Go there, show your brain, go and contribute there. So we've always told girls that, look, we need to be part of the discussion. And we cannot deny that social media, it's one place that the discussions are ongoing. And I think some of us are all have to be blamed because most of us are not there to talk to our girls on the social media. But there are a whole lot of others who are posting very interesting, very thought provoking, very educative materials on social media. We just need to find them. We need to relook at what exactly we want with social media. Are we using
Yeah.
social media to promote our work, or we just interested in using social media to promote our beauty?
Yeah. Hajia, the reason why I was asking about the social media is I think a lot of them don't know the impact of, you know, some of the things that they post on social media, what it can be used, um, against them in future because the
Exactly.
nudity on social
Exactly.
media, especially by our young girls, are too alarming. And majority of them, I think they do so either, innocently or sometimes they're being pressured to do so. So, I mean, those who do so innocently, just wanting views, likes, and all other things, this is where my worry is, because maybe 5, 10 years down the line, I don't think you can come back and watch your nudity or what you've done on social media.
No, you
And
can't.
then, you know what I mean? And even also now, even when you're looking for jobs, like we now have employers going to pages to look for who you are. So my worry is what can be done to help these innocent girls to, use social media positively. Because I mean, imagine, after your masters, after your, whatever, maybe 5 years down the line, you did all these things on social media, and now you've now redeemed yourself. But what you've done over the years, might go against you. So this is, where I want you to, talk to our girls. So yeah.
Well, it's quite worrying if you look at how exposed our girls are on social media, showing their nudity, and which is quite embarrassing. Unfortunately, they don't see that embarrassing. They think that that is where it shows that they are modern girls, you know. And so I think on the same social media, we need to try to disabuse girls' mind about this, because once these things are on social media, you become somebody very responsible tomorrow, and you do not wish that these things were said about you or you did this, so um I think as people who are engaging with young people, we need to mainstream this in the work that we do. In every space that we find, we need to talk at least 10 minutes, talk about issues around safeguarding, issues about how to use social media productively. So, as rights activists, these are the things that we need to do. That in every space that we find that we are working with girls, we should let them understand what it means to be on social media and the impact it has on them as they are developing along the way. And that is why I say that we need to teach girls how to be productive with social media, how to contribute in proper discussions, how to learn things that can benefit them, than just showing nudity, just showing that you are this or you are this figure and you can do this to the extreme. I mean, what does it add to you, to your benefit? It only shows, it only exposes you to further abuse, because people would say all sort of nasty things about you. They're just the quiet people who will tell you go higher, go that, do that. But in effect, when you reflect tomorrow, you see that you should have perhaps taken your time. And so we still need to continue to educate our girls on the things that they do and how the repercussions can be on them in future.
Great. Haji, I mean, since you are an advocate and also an activist, what would you suggest to companies in addressing the gender, divide and women representation?
Well, women representation is quite a worrying trend. As I've talked to you in our earlier conversation, because of our societal orientation, women are not seen to be people who they think that they can be in decision making. Up to now, there are a lot of communities who think that, look, a woman can still not lead them. They think that if a woman leads, be say an assembled person, it means they are all very weak people. These are the mindset of people. You see that a whole municipal or metropolis, not even one woman is elected at the local level, and that is quite disturbing. You see, even in the appointment of district chief executive, you see that just a handful are women who are appointed, and sometimes they do not even get the support of the assembly. You come to the national level, the parliament, at the parliamentary level. Currently, our parliamentarians, we just have 40 who are women. you know, and these 40 who are women, we are not sure we're even getting 40 back. And that is just about 14.5% of the total number of parliamentarians. If you have 275 constituencies, and only 40 of them, are women, that is a big trend, a big issue for us. And although the new Patriotic Party are yet to do their primaries, when the NDC did their primaries, we had I think about four or so of the women who are in parliament already losing their seats again. And that tells you that as to whether even the current women in the MPP side, they'll be retained within their parties to contest is another before even the general election. So the situation of women in representation, it's quite alarming. That is why, as women's rights activists, we are pushing for the passage of the affirmative action bill into law. Because when the affirmative action bill is passed into law, then we can have some representation of at least 30%, in the appointment throughout, either through the boards, through ministerial position, through district level, whatever, we can have at least 30% of women, representation. So the affirmative action is one bill that we are pushing for it to be passed so that we can make a step in that direction. But even if you look at our cultural setting, like I mentioned, which gatherings are we seeing the women? Even where the women are there, with what voice do they have? Which is quite worrying that even at the district level, where most of the services at the district level are being used by women, you still do not see women as part of decision making bodies. So it's quite a problem, and part of the things that we are doing is to start at the basic level, encouraging girls to be in leadership position. And now we are seeing the change, the trend. You see that, for example, last year, the UDS Dungu campus had their NUCS president being NUCS secretary being a woman, and NUCS president, for example, being the woman, a lady. Then you have the Nyankpala campus XRC president being a lady. That is how we are changing the status quo. And once we begin to encourage young girls, young women to be part of the decision making spaces, giving them the leadership skills, building their capacity around public speaking, boosting their confidence and pushing them, encouraging them, then they can dare put themselves up. So these are some of the things we need to do to continuously work with girls so that they're able to take part and bring themselves up. For the district level or local level, we're also encouraging women to take the opportunity within the unit committee level, where we can push for more women, to be part in the unit committee level.
Wonderful. So I just want to ask, because we are, gradually coming to the end of our discussion, and there's also the notion that women are so scared also to take up, leadership positions, even when they are offered to them on a silver platter. We want women to be there, but you still see women, just pulling back. What can be the problem? Because the men are saying that
Several,
sometimes.
several factors.
Okay.
Several factors, Nana. We have women who have dared even put themselves to contest for a position, and you have their husbands pulling them back. Sometimes, when their husbands even give them support, you have a family member from their husband saying that, look, if you allow this your woman to stand in this position, you're gradually going to lose her. She's going to be too pompous. She's going to be uncontrolled, And so because of that, your husband also do not want you to feel uncontrolled. And she says, no, that's one. Two, you want to put yourself up. And unfortunately, our politics has become so dirty
Yes.
that, especially for a woman, they're going to say things that are so derogatory, And you know how we feel about our dignity as women, that because of the insult that that is associated with our politics, you see a lot of women not wanting to even put themselves up. It's not because they are not confident or they cannot do it. It is just because they feel that the family honor, the children honor, the family honor lies with them. And
Yeah.
so they do not want anybody, you know, saying anything that is derogatory to the family. And so if it is just to put myself to serve the people, because of that, then I better withdraw. And because of that, you see that men take advantage of it, especially for women who, in our earlier discussion, we talked about women who are not even married.
Yeah.
Then they begin saying that this one that cannot even marry, why shows that she can even be responsible for a whole community or for a whole constituency. And then they begin to question your marriage instead of your capability. you know. And unfortunately, the whole discussion can just be about the fact that she's not married.
She's
And you ask people, why would you vote for this one? She's not married. She's not married. If she's not married, it means that she cannot do the work. Or she's just a woman. How can a woman, for example, we had people who said that, how can a woman, can women go into to graveyard? Can women go to cemetery? And how can we put women? And I said, the MPs that you have voted, are they those who are doing the barrier?
wow.
So
Wow.
people give flimsy excuses why it is not women, and also because women, most of them do not have their capacity built,
Yeah.
and so they lack the confidence to come up. But once they are supported by their families, by their peers, and they are supported in a very free, violent free environment, then they can come out in their numbers. So many times too also, our political positions do not encourage us. I'll say they don't encourage us because for political positions, we know that there are some constituencies that are safe seats. If there are safe seats, why wouldn't the political party say that, look, because these are safe seats, why don't we allow only our women to contest those seats? But they still leave it open. And I'll tell you, Nana, even at the political level, at the same party level, during their primaries to see who even represent them as a party, if you look at the monies that they spend, which woman has that kind of money to spend? You
Yeah.
know, so it's being monetized. I mean, a whole lot of things about money, about money, about money. And many of the time also, the engagement, the time you get to engage people, many of the time men will go and meet men group at their ghettos at night, at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. and things. A woman, you are going around at that time and there's a whole lot of suspicion with you. Hey, the woman is gone this way, oh, and people are following you. You cannot even have that time that your colleague contestant, who is a man, has, because there's a whole lot of chores around you and there are a whole lot of family issues on you. Said that you don't even get the support to do. So a whole lot of this issue, most of it are things that discourages women from putting themselves up. And then families also say that, look, I don't want any trouble. We have built our family honor to do not let anybody tarnish our image.
Image.
And you have a whole lot of people coming to tell you that step down. And sometimes they say that, look, step down because the one you are contesting is your uncle's whatever son, aunties,
Oh,
whatever brother's son. They found a way to make sure that they you you just stop and step down and let the person continue. So our political environment is dirty. Women are so conscious about their dignity. They think that um, if the family honor lies with the woman. That is the thinking, and the way the it's so money involving. Women do not have that kind of money to be able to compete election. Even at the primary level, it's not easy. So all of these that are associated, the political violence, are things, many of the reasons why women do not want to go into politics.
Great.
But nonetheless, we have few who have dared themselves and they
Themselves.
are giving encouragement to people to come up.
So a young girl watching you and wanting to follow your footsteps, wanting to be like Hajialamnatu Adam, what advice would you give to that young girl who would like to undertake on the projects that you've undertaken? What kind of advice?
Hello, my young girl watching me.
Yes.
Follow your passion. The number one thing is that you want to do the things you want to do by yourself. Follow your passion, go to school, talk to a mentor. If you have identified me, talk to me. If you've identified another person who you look up to, talk to the person. Get a coach, get a mentor to mentor you throughout. But above all, have the passion and commit yourself to getting through to that passion. It
Wonderful.
is important to also learn about who you want to be, the things you want to do. If it is a career that you see that the person's career is something that I want, read more about that career. Find people within that space. Listen to them, talk to them. At least get one of them to mentor you. But above all, be committed to the things that you are interested in.
Great. Hajia, you didn't tell us the meaning of Somtaba. What does it mean? I was so curious.
Sometimes means helping each other.
Helping each other.
Helping each other. Yes,
Helping.
supporting each other, helping each other. Yes, that's what
Great.
it means.
Before you go, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
Um, I'm here at Songtaba as the executive director, but I know there are a whole lot of people who are working with me. My board are supporting me, my very own staff, who I love so much, are solidly behind me. In fact, they do most of the work and we take all the glory as well. I love my staff. My staff are very supportive. I love my family who have supported me and my friends. But above all, we also have other among our peers who have supported me. One of such persons is Alhaji Awo of Norsak, and I want to say thank you to him also for supporting me throughout the journey. The legacy that I want to leave behind is that I do not want to be the one doing it. I want to be in a team doing it. I want to work with others. And I want others to see that there's no one person who can do anything. You always have to find a team who is supportive to push you through. And so I don't want to go not impacting on others. And I think that if for nothing, the testimonies that we get about the work that we do is very nourishing. So I want to have an impact. I want to be able to impact a lot of young people to one day say that, look, this is the Dede I see in Hajialamnatu. This is the person who has supported me. This is the person for listening to her, for seeing her even on TV, listening to her on social media has changed my life. That's the kind of legacy we want. Building people. Building people is very, very important. When you build them, you support them, you show them how to fish is better than you giving them the fish. So for me, I'm very interested in building the capacity of girls, in coaching them so that they can find their own passions, they can find their the things that they dream about and lead their development agendas.
Great. Ajia, we all know you've won several awards. You've traveled a lot. And I think we just want to showcase your recent awards by Dimbian magazine as a change maker. Dimbian, wherever you are, thank you for spotlighting Hajia Lamnatu Adam. Um, just waiting for the team to bring the picture out. Yes. Hajia was awarded as a change maker, recently. Hajia, congratulations for that. And we
Thank
celebrate,
you.
yes, yes, we celebrate with you. And
Thank
anyone
you.
watching, tonight, we just brought Hajia to just put the spotlight on her, to showcase the amazing work that she's doing in the northern part of Ghana. And we don't get to hear, much, from the northern part of Ghana. So I took it upon myself, because I realized that they've got beautiful, our tourist sites, beautiful culture. The people are wonderful, yet there isn't much, you know, noise being made about them. So tonight, Hajia, it's your turn to be celebrated and also to be spotlighted. And we just want to say thank you for the amazing work that you are doing to, you know, bring a lot of women into the knowledge that they can be whoever that they want to become. They can be self-assertive. They can, um, be whatever that they want to, to become any heights that they want to attain. Yes, it is possible. So thank you for, I would say, taking that bold step, because I know that it's not easy to be doing whatever you're doing, especially in that male-dominated environment. But here you are, with wisdom, with knowledge, with patience, and also with tenacity, you know, um, making sure young girls are in the know, and also empowered economically, by your initiatives. I know it's not easy funding all these projects, but you do so. Um, I mean, very well with your team, and I just also want to commend your team for standing by you, for supporting you, and also for believing in your vision. So, all the team at Songtaba, I say thank you for believing in Hajialamnatu and also for standing by her. I think without you guys, Hajia would definitely not be able to achieve what she's able to achieve now. So, thank you. And to anyone that has actually stayed, with us up to this point, I just want to say thank you so much for your company. And if you haven't shared, please share this interview. Let us celebrate Hajialamnatu Adam for the amazing work that she's doing. Please share. And also, I also want to ask you, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Hajia says or said that she wants to be remembered for empowering young girls, emboldening young girls. What about you? What can be said about you when you are no longer around? What kind of legacy do you want to leave? Thank you so much. Just think about it.
Thank you, Nana.
Think about it. And yeah. So on that note, I just want to say thank you, Hajia, for your time. I know you're a very, very busy woman, but for accepting my invitation to feature on the Inside View. For my team and myself, I say thank you and have a blessed week and keep on changing the narrative. And I know, if not even, maybe for your time, maybe for the next generation to come, they would come and say, or just come to the realization that there was a woman that wanted all women to be empowered, all women to be sound economically. And I know your legacy will go on. So thank you. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Hajia.
very much. Thank you very much, Nana, for the opportunity. We're also very grateful. On behalf of my board, a very supportive board, and my management, want to say a big thank you for the exposure you've given us this platform to share the work that we do. And we say kudos to you for identifying us to also speak to others. We are hoping that you give more space and more time to people like us to continue to share. You are doing a great work.
Thank
You just doing the work just like me. You're giving the space, and that's the important thing, that we want women to be given the space for people to listen to, and you are doing that. We are so
Thank
grateful. Thank
thank
you.
you. And before you go, I just want to say thank you to your husband and also to your family as well for releasing mommy and wife. Yes, I know. So thank you as well. Thank you,
Thank
thank you,
you. Thank
thank
you,
you.
Nana.
All right,
All
then.
the
So you take
best.
care, and everyone, and take care.
Bye.